faster than small breeds at a young age, and so this leads to the development of certain diseases later in life. Small dogs live an average of 10 to 15. We share our cities and homes with these animals every day, but we still don't know everything about them. Humans domesticated dogs several thousand years ago, and since then, these creatures have become our most loyal and loving friends. They are relatively intelligent, easy to train, able to obey our commands, and have become very useful companions in many areas of human life. You'll soon find out for yourself what other amazing talents dogs have. From the tip of their nose to their tail, these shaggy creatures are full of surprises. Here are 25 of the most interesting facts about man's best friends. Fact 25. Hybrids of domestic dogs and wolves in the modern world. Wolves and dogs still have fairly similar DNA, so they are quite capable of pairing up and giving birth to new offspring of healthy pups. This usually happens when wolf packs take in ordinary stray dogs. For example, in the US. According to experts, in the woods and neighborhoods of human homes are now running about 300,000 individual so-called wolfhounds. Fact 24. Dogs sometimes smell like corn chips. Many dog owners admit that their dogs sometimes smell like popcorn or corn chips. As it turns out, this unexpected aroma has nothing to do with the pet's diet. It's all to do with bacteria swarming right on the dog's paws. Fact 23. Unlike all other animals, small dogs live longer than their bigger cousins. The animal kingdom is governed by its own specific laws, according to which the size of an animal is directly related to its longevity. Dogs, however, are an exception. Scientists have long been trying to understand why small dogs live longer than larger breeds. Some researchers believe that large dogs grow faster than small breeds at a young age, and so this leads to the development of certain diseases later in life. Small dogs live an average of 10 to 15 years, and large dogs live 8 to 12 years. Fact 22. Dogs have 3 centuries. Like humans, dogs have an upper eyelid and a lower eyelid. However, they also have a third eyelid called the mimetic membrane. This eyelid performs several functions at once, including protection from dust and water, lubrication, and lacrimation. Reptiles, birds, and some other mammals also have a third eyelid. Fact 21. How much sharper is a dog's sense of smell compared to a human's? It is no secret that dogs have an exceptionally good sense of smell. However, not everyone knows that the sense of smell of some dogs is 100,000 times sharper than ours. This is just an insane figure. In a dog's nose is located about 300 million olfactory receptors, while a human has only 6 million. Fact 20. Dogs and humans evolved almost simultaneously. It is said that a dog is man's best friend, and this expression actually makes a lot more sense than you think. Humans and dogs have coexisted for a very long time, nearly 32,000 years, since we first domesticated wild wolves. Researchers at the University of Chicago found that several groups of genes in humans and dogs evolved almost in parallel. This includes our genes related to diet, the digestive system, the nervous system, and certain diseases. Fact 19. Baboons sometimes kidnap dogs. Many of you have probably already seen the popular video in which a baboon from Al Taif, Saudi Arabia, kidnaps a puppy and presumably keeps it with him as a pet. Just like humans, baboons have been noticed similar habits before. They like to kidnap females from each other, and sometimes even establish possessiveness over dogs. As a result, scientists have concluded that these primates do not steal puppies in order to keep them with them as a pet, as we do. Fact 18. Dogs sweat their paws. On hot summer days, dogs tend to open their mouths wide and stick out their long tongues to cool themselves off. However, the only sweat glands in their bodies are actually on the pads of their feet, although the sweating process in the case of these animals has more to do with friction, to avoid slipping, than with thermoregulation. Fact 17. Dogs can sniff out a person's senses. We have already found out that the nose of these animals is, well, very sensitive. Dogs' sense of smell is so acute that they can even sense when a person is experiencing fear or anxiety. Fact 16. Dogs dream just like humans. When we sleep, we often dream. It turns out that dogs do too. If you want to see what it's like, just wait about 20 minutes for your dog to fall into a fairly deep sleep. A clear sign of dreaming can be seen as the movement of the animal's eyes under closed eyelids. Fact 15. 3 dogs survived the sinking of the Titanic. On board the Titanic were all conditions for the carriage of dogs, because among the passengers were very rich and influential people, always traveling with their pets. On the first and last voyage of the legendary liner there were 12 dogs, and 3 of them survived, 1 Pekingese and 2 Spitzes. Fact 14. Bad odor from a dog's mouth can be a symptom of a disease, halitosis, bad breath from the mouth of a human or animal, also sometimes popularly called simply foul breath, is most often a sign of dental, respiratory, digestive problems, or even diabetes. Your dog doesn't have to stink, so if you think he smells bad, take him to the vet for a checkup just in case. Fact 13. A dog's nose print is as unique as a person's fingerprints. Just like our fingerprints, a dog's nose print is totally unique and can even be used to identify your dog. The Canadian Kennel Club has been using a nasal print system for identification and registration since 1938. Fact 12. The now extinct fidget dog once lived in almost all European kitchens. The spit, kitchen, or cook dog was once an indispensable attribute in all the kitchens of Great Britain, at great courts, in rich houses, castles, and even in inns. In the 16th century they were used literally like hamsters running around inside a huge wheel which, using its ingenious dog engine, evenly spun a spit with meat cooking on it. This breed no longer exists, but some experts believe that its closest relative today is the Welsh Corgi. Fact 11. Dogs can sense approaching hurricanes and storms. In advance, dogs can sense changes in atmospheric pressure and changes in the electrostatic field, usually associated just as bad weather is approaching. In addition, dogs can hear thunder before we can hear it. Fact 10. Moscow stray dogs have learned to navigate the complex subway system. There are at least 35,000 yard dogs in the Russian capital, and some of these stray animals have learned to navigate in a rather complicated subway system in which even people often get lost. The smartest dogs simply walk down the subway, hop on and off, and travel from point A to point B, usually following people they know. In addition, these intelligent creatures have long understood how and why the traffic lights work, and cross the road strictly on the green light, what can not always boast of ordinary citizens. Another trick: some packs of Moscow mongrels noticed that people are more willing to feed small dogs, and so they began to send the smallest members of their pack to explore and get prey. Fact 9. In 1860, 2 stray dogs were granted special status in San Francisco. In the 1860s, San Francisco authorities issued a law to control stray dogs that were flooding the city's streets too much. However, 2 dogs named Bummer and Lazarus were not affected by this law. They were free to roam the streets, and were not afraid of the authorities. These animals were pardoned for a very simple reason: they were excellent rat catchers. In the middle of the 19th century, small rodents very much worried the residents of San Francisco, and according to rough estimates of experts, Bummer and Lazarus together just for one winter month killed up to 400 rats. The famous mongrels were true heroes of the city, and even made it onto a memorial plaque. Fact 8. Dogs navigate in the dark with whiskers. It turns out that dog whiskers are also a very important and useful organ. They can sense changes in air currents and act as receptors when additional information about the height, shape, and speed of approaching objects is needed. This amazing ability helps dogs see in the dark. Fact 7. Sniffing someone else's, but is a dog's version of a handshake. Dogs have special anal glands that produce special chemicals that provide other dogs with a whole bunch of information. Thanks to their super-sensitive noses, these animals can tell the sex, diet, health, and even the emotional background of a new friend. Fact 6. Puppies are born blind and deaf. When puppies are newborn, their eyes and ear canals are tightly closed. They only open when they are fully formed, but until then these sensory organs are too fragile and delicate and therefore need to be protected separately. Fact 5. Guide dogs go to the bathroom at the owner's command. All guide dogs go through rigorous training before they are handed over to a future owner. The animal's training program includes very different commands, including even special words and phrases for permission to go to the bathroom. Since guide dogs serve people who are visually impaired or blind, the dog must also be able to let its owner know that it has finished its dirty business and can already be cleaned up after it. Yes, in Western countries people with physical disabilities are also responsible for their pets. Fact 4. Dogs can smell if a person has cancer or diabetes. Dogs' amazingly keen sense of smell can even detect signs of cancer or diabetes. In several studies, test dogs were able to detect the disease without a hitch based on samples of breath and urine. Today, there are even service dogs that can alert their owners that their blood sugar levels are approaching life-threatening levels. And it's all by smell. Fact 3. An adult dog is no stupider than a 2-year-old child. According to the language proficiency test, most dogs have intelligence comparable to that of a 2-year-old child. The average dog can learn up to 165 words, and the smartest breeds can learn up to 250 words. Fact 2. Seals train with Belgian Malinois sheepdogs. In some military missions, U.S. SEALs use Belgian sheepdogs. The process of training these dogs is just as serious and challenging as the tests that human cadets go through. Only 1% of dogs go through the rigorous selection process for these elite troops. The animals spend at least 15 hours a week with their handler, and sheepdogs even parachute in during training, just like all the other cadets. Fact 1. Dogs go to the toilet in accordance with the Earth's magnetic field. According to a study by the online scientific publication Frontiers in Zoology, dogs sense the electromagnetic field of our planet and prefer to defecate exactly along its north-south axis. The amusing discovery was made after a 2-year study of 70 dogs of 37 different breeds. Researchers still don't understand why dogs do this. Subscribe to my channel. Thank you for your attention.